Welcome. Today we're going to talk about balance, juggling career, family, and personal time. Really, it's all about small habits, better priorities, and less guilt. And remembering that balance isn't about giving every part of your life equal time every single day. Some seasons may demand more from work, others may demand more from family, and there's just different times in our life where sometimes you feel like you need to balance one more over the other. The goal is to be intentional so the things that matter most really aren't being put to the back burner or pushed aside. Many professionals aren't failing at balance. They're maybe just trying to do too much or do too much all at once. In the banking industry, it's super fast paced, customer focused. And during that, it might be harder for you to make boundaries that are really best for you. We have, demands in career, or, you feel like technology keeps you connected, which means you're constantly on your phone or at your computer. Maybe family responsibilities never stop, or you're just at a busy time in that life. And as a result of all of this, a lot of times balance can feel really hard. And at the forefront of this, we often put ourselves last. Balance doesn't necessarily have to mean everything has to be equal, meaning, the same amount of time that we put into work has to be the same for family and our health and relationships and personal time. It's really about balancing and dividing all of these different areas, or if you have another bucket that you're trying to, include, it's not necessarily about dividing your day into equal pieces. It's just for you figuring out which of these areas is most important and which of these areas do you not want to neglect for too long. So for you, balance may mean, trying to figure out how to equally give to these 5 areas that are on the screen. But for someone else, you might have 6 areas, or you might only have a couple. So keep in mind that it's not equal, nor is it the same as the person next to you. What I would recommend is, before adding something to your calendar, ask yourself these 3 questions, because when you're able to figure out what your priorities are, it's going to help bring some clarity. So asking yourself these 3 questions before you add more to your plate. Right now, what matters most? Like, what do you need to give your time, attention, your efforts, everything to? What matters most? If you feel like you have a big, like, ever going, ongoing laundry list, what can wait? So, maybe you break it down into, like, what do I need to attend to today or this week? Or what are the things that can be, on my monthly list? What can I put off to next week, or to, next month or next quarter? And then the third question is, what can someone else do? So is there something that's on your calendar or on your list that you don't necessarily need to be the one that has to attend to that? Can you delegate, or can you ask a colleague, to help, or, your spouse or your partner, or whatever that might look like? When we think about balance, small habits can really create some sustainable balance. Looking at how you can protect time in the same way that you protect meetings. So 5 habits that actually work when we're talking about that is, in the same way that you're scheduling meetings or things in your life, can you schedule personal time? Getting out of your mindset that, maybe part of this is like time to, exercise or, go to a class or whatever that may be, maybe you don't have a full hour, and if you feel like you can't commit a full hour, you're not even scheduling it at all in your life versus can you fit in 10 minutes, fit in the pockets of your time. So 10 minutes or take a quick break or take a quick walk. So scheduling personal time, even if it's for 5 minutes. What can you do to protect your mornings and your evenings so that you can commit some time to your personal life or your family life? And then when you're at work during the day, that is your work time, but really protecting your evenings. Limit notifications. So this is specifically like with your phone. And so do you have access to your email on your phone or other notifications? And is there some settings or things that you can do to limit those notifications so that you feel like you're not constantly checking email or responding to every single text message? Getting comfortable with saying not right now. So by saying not right now may not necessarily mean that you're saying no. It just means not right now, but I'll be able to get to that, at a different time. And then lastly, the last habit that may work for you is leaving margin in your calendars to have some flexibility so that if you need to pivot or modify things, your calendar is going to allow you to do that. I know we've all heard this before, but progress over perfection. I love this, and it's honestly a simple yet really effective reminder constantly to say that none of us are perfect. Stop chasing perfect. Start striving and chasing progress over perfection, and that's going to give you much more of a balance and really trying to hone in on being present where you are. Remember that those that love you most, your friends, your family, none of us are going to remember a perfect inbox, but they're always going to remember your presence, right? And so, especially if you're balancing family and being a parent, just remember that, that presence is what is going to make a lasting impression and presence for you. Along that same line, small improvements that you practice consistently are really going to help you in making a meaningful change. And so these are things that maybe aren't going to happen overnight, but you're looking at, again, progress over perfection and small improvements by using the 1% rule, right? Maybe it's walk for 15 minutes, or you're going to try one day to eat lunch away from your desk so that you're not having a working lunch. Trying one day to go to bed earlier, or rather than setting yourself up where you're going to read, so many books a year or a month, you're going to start with 10 pages. Or if you're trying to keep connections in your life, calling a friend. So just making small improvements that you can consistently make and trying to do, that 1% rule, helping with that meaningful change. Keep in mind that time matters, but energy matters just as much, and trying to challenge yourself to protect both. So being able to protect your energy and thinking about what are your energy drainers and what are your energy builders. So energy drainers may be things like interruptions or poor sleep or trying to multitask where you're just not getting things done because you're trying to juggle so many things. Where energy builders may be things like moving your body or healthy relationships, giving yourself breaks or taking breaks, mental break, physical break, and also establishing healthy routines. So again, this is something that may look different for every single person, but figuring out how you can protect your energy just as much as, your time as well. Don't be afraid to give yourself permission to do each of these things, giving yourself permission to ask for help, giving yourself permission to say no, giving yourself permission to use your PTO to really have that balance, giving yourself permission to protect your mental health, and giving yourself permission to be fully present. Keep in mind that healthy boundaries not only benefit you, they benefit your family, they benefit your work, and they benefit everyone who means the most to you. I want to close by challenging each of you to choose one realistic action. Balance is something that we create through all of our daily choices. And with that, what is one small thing that you can do this week? Take what we just talked about in the last few minutes and write it down and commit to it. I'm not asking for you to make a long commitment to the next month, the next year. I literally just want you to choose one realistic action that you'll be able to do this week. Write it down and commit to it. And remember that, again, balance is something that we create through our daily choices.